Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be looking into the Spitfire Originals Drumline plugin. So this is a VST audio unit, I don't know which one it is, it might be both, plugin for drum lines. So if you need that drum line like marching snare, marching bass drum kind of sound, then this plugin will definitely deliver. So the Spitfire Originals Drumline plugin, this can be purchased directly from Spitfire for currently $29. And the cool thing about this whole line of plugins, the original range, is that they're all 29 bucks and they're really good. They come with their own standalone plugin and it's very plug and play. Like the whole ecosystem of these originals plugins are just super easy to use. And if you just need that thing very quickly, they knock it out of the park. So to load it up, you'll need to just start a new track in whatever DAW you're using and go down to your instruments and find it and then grab it right there. So it's just called Originals Drumline and I always run it in stereo. And this is what it looks like. So you've got all your important information, but also boring stuff along the top. You can choose your MIDI channel right there, really easy. Kind of a master volume, master tuning, master pan, all of that. You've got a few settings here if you need to dive into that. I've never needed to go into the settings because it's that simple and it just works, but you've got it. Down here, this is kind of your sound selector. So depending on if you want to use a whole ensemble or just use a certain section of the drum line or like more particular things like rolls and effects and like that kind of stuff, you can do that as well. So I'm going to start on the ensemble here because it's a great full drum line. Like if you just want one channel for all your drums, like snares, tenors, basses, cymbals, it's all on one thing. And then if you want to get granular, they have individuals, like you could do snare and tenor and bass and get really granular with it. So I will just start off with this. So it starts on an F and you can see on the little keyboard down here, basically the layout. So you basically have your bass drums here, some rim shots, top one, rim clicks for all those bass drums along the top. We get into tenor territory here. So there's like your big one, super technical term, rim shot. Next one, rim shot. High one, rim shot. Snare, flam. Snare. The flam and the just straight hit are very hard to tell the difference. Technically that one's the flam. So if you hover your mouse down here, it'll tell you exactly what is going on. So you'll see the B is a snare flam. And then the C is a straight hit. But it's really hard to tell. I got a rim shot there. And a crash hit, and then a choke crash hit. So it's a more limited set of articulations, but it's helpful because you have the whole drum line on one thing. So as far as controls, you have, this is an expression, and you can map either of these. By default, your mod wheel goes to dynamics, which is basically a compressor on the MIDI velocity. So if you think of like, regular audio compressor keeps all your levels locked in one place. This does that with the MIDI. So when it's down, when the mod wheel's down, you can play really soft and then get louder. When this is up, this doesn't feel like it's doing anything right now. Interesting. Why are we not doing anything? Weird. So that's a weird thing. Again, I have used this probably over the last couple months, but I really just slap it in there and move on because that's kind of what it's for in my opinion. This feels more like what you expect from the mod wheel. And you can unmap these. So if you right click and hit remove MIDI CC and then right click this one and hit learn, and then you can move it. So now it does expression. Yeah, so that's the cool thing about all of these is it's very, very like kind of modular, and you can change stuff around if you want. This is called the knob. This is just an assignable parameter that you can put in there. So right now it's reverb. If you want that big sound, or you can click it and switch to tightness. Just kind of an easier access version of some of these down here. I hardly ever touch it because I like the amount of reverb and room it has on its own. And then down here you have basically your mic blend. So I'll turn this off. You have a close mic. It's just literally right there. And there is panning and stereo field baked into the library already, so you don't even need to pan anything, which I like. So by default, your snares are over on the left and your tenors are on the right. That's nice. So you don't have to worry about panning anything. So this is kind of the point that some of you may not like, is it's like already panned. So I like that because I don't have to deal with it, and I'm not like writing drumline specific music. I'm just adding drumline to my tracks sometimes. And so for that kind of thing, it's perfect. But if you are like, I need like the whole song is drumline, you might want a little more control over it, if that makes sense. So it's definitely a very like quick and simple drumline solution that sounds really good. So the next one here is room. That's what we all came here for. And I hit a cymbal too. Hyped is kind of a, let's see, for hyped they say the original sample content repitched and processed with compression, saturation, and EQ to add weight and impact. Oh yeah. I've actually never turned this on. I literally just open it up and put it in my tracks. Nice. Oh, that smacks. Dude, that's really good. Cool. So I want to show you basically using this in real time because you can sit and play on it all day, and that's great, but I know you want to hear what it sounds like in a session. So generally, I will actually make tracks for all the different things. Reason being, when you load just a certain instrument, so let me do snare hits, for example, you get way more articulation and detail and that kind of thing when you load a dedicated library versus that ensemble one. If you want to use a bunch of different articulations and things an actual like snare player would do, then load up like the snare hits and you'll get a lot more. So on this, you have a press roll. You've got flam. This flam sounds more flammy for what it's worth to me. Straight hit, rim shot, rim hit. So that's nice. You got the rim shot or just the rim hit, and then a ping shot, if you know what that is, and a cross stick, and a stick shot. So tons of different like little plinky textures there, which is really nice because in the full ensemble, you just have flam, hit, and rim shot. So that's nice. I'll load up a couple others to show you. And all of these come with it. It's not like you don't have to pick when you're buying it. You get them all. So the tenors, same thing. You get way more. So you got a hand mute. You've got flam, very flammy flam, straight hit, skank shot, rim hit, and then 10-inch flam, 10-inch straight, 10-inch rim, 10-inch rim hit, 6-inch flam, 6-inch straight, 6-inch rim shot, and 6-inch rim hit. So lots of options there. My only complaint about the tenors specifically, coming from someone who dabbled in tenors at one point, I want more drums. So they only gave you 3 options. You get the 10, the 8, and the 6. But I want the 4, and then I want that little one. So that's my only complaint about that is I want a little more like pitched drums on it. But it sounds really good. There's lots of articulations. I really can't be that upset about it. Okay, bass drum hits. So you got low, stick, low, or low, rim, next, rim, next, rim. On the top 2 drums, you get a rim and a rim shot. So there's that. Rim shot, rim click, straight hit, rim shot, rim click. That's it on the drums. One thing I did not mention is all of these have 2 keyboard zones. So if you look at this, you have the same thing twice. So that's if you want to like be able to do stuff fast. So you're not having to do that all on one key. You can left, right your hands. And that's a really nice touch. That really makes it nice and usable. Next one is the rolls. So low bass drum. I actually have not used the rolls at all, so we're going to learn about it together. Low bass drum, sustained roll. Okay. It's literally just every drum with a roll. Oh. Oh, wow. That's a nice touch. That's a really nice touch. A closed roll or an open roll. Closed roll. Open roll. This is closed roll. Wow. Nice. Very nice. I love that it's here, but if you want to use it in a song, that means you have to have a new track for this. So that's kind of a pain. Let's see. Cymbals. Crash hit. Pinch crash. Edge hit. Sizzle. Nice. Bell hit. Scrape. Oh, very cool. That's nice if you're doing like those tension cues or something, like sync licensing tension stuff. Cool. Like a choke, edge choke, closed hi-hat, short. Nice. So that's a lot of options there, way more than I'd ever want from cymbals. Swells, here we go, lots of stuff. So this is, I'm not going to do all these, this looks like a lot, but it looks like they have soft to loud, loud to soft on a bunch of different stuff. I bet once we get to a certain spot, yep, loud to soft. Very cool. So if you need weird specific stuff, it's in there most likely. Hairpins, I don't know what these are, but we're going to find out. Short crescendo roll into a decrescendo. Oh, cool. That's like an oddly specific thing, but if you need it, you got it. Drum kit mapping, I've not done this before. Oh. Oh, cool. Okay, it's literally like a regular drum kit where you have, you know, your toms. Cool. So if you want to just play it like a drum kit. Cool. That's good to know. I thought this was like a custom map thing, and I was like, I don't want to waste the time custom mapping it, but that's really cool. If you're used to either playing it on the keyboard or like you've got a drum pad thing, that would be perfect. So let me show you just a little bit in a track now, kind of give you a real world application of it, and then talk about some pros and cons, my overall feelings, and that'll be it. Okay, so usually when I use it in a track, I get the snare ensemble, the tenors, the basses, and the cymbals, basically a track for each. That way I have access to some of those more niche I always have trouble with that word, articulations and, you know, all the extra stuff. And I can also do overall levels of, you know, sections of the instruments. So I will just show you the track. Let's see. There's a lot of variations here. So I'll show you a little bit of each one. So here's the snares. Pretty basic snare stuff. Just, it does what you need it to do. Here's some tenors. Cool, here's some basses. Basses, and a cymbal. I just like to have the cymbal kind of crash on the sections that there are drum lines, so it feels a little more drumliney. I'll give you some context for the track as well. Basically, all this is going for like, it's sync licensing, and it's like that NFL kind of like Sunday football sound. So it's like hip hop based cues with a lot of like orchestra and also horns and drumline. So here is, I'll just put it in there with some of the elements. So you can hear it really well kind of in this area. I'll start it at the beat. So I have them just hitting, you know, rim shots there on 2 and 4. So that's what it sounds like kind of in use as well as in a track with the other elements. For what it's worth, I think it sounds incredible. It's exactly what you need from a drumline plugin and not too much extra fluff. So pros, you know, it sounds great. You do have an ensemble mode that has a little bit of everything. So if you don't want to get granular on the tracks, you've got it, you know, in one spot. And then, you know, another pro is they do have the individual instruments so you can get granular if you want to. As far as cons, there's not much I don't like about it. The tenors, like I mentioned earlier, I wish they had more drums. You know, I really want like the 4 and then the little one, because then you could really play like, you know, hitting those, you know, 3 and 4 big, like, I don't know the technical term. I just know the ones on the sides, the deep ones. Whereas if I wanted that sound, I had to do like the 10 and the 8 together, but then you only have a 6 and it's like, okay, you know, that it'd be nice to have more drums there, but I understand that's a pain in the butt when you're making samples, especially one for $29. As far as the basses, I think the rims, like the rim clicks are really quiet because like you get that giant drum and you're hitting the rim, like it's going to be a lot louder than, where is it? Right there. I don't think that's like that loud, especially compared to the drum. It's like, that's a big difference. So I wish the rims were a little louder in general. But all that said, it's $29 if you need a just grab and go, like throw in your lunchbox drumline plugin. This is great. And drumline is one of those things that it's like, I don't want to spend $300 on some premium drumline library to just kind of have as a cool texture in my tracks. So I think, you know, for what it's worth, $29, you can't go wrong if you need that sound. You know, who is it good for? People who need a drumline sound. If you are like writing drumline music, maybe like just scoring stuff out and you need better sounds or need sounds in general, I think it'd be great for that too. Who is it not for? I mean, if you don't need drums, it's not for you. But I think for the people that need it, like it's a really specific thing. If you need the sound, Spitfire's got you covered there, I think. Again, this is the only one I've tried, but I love Spitfire stuff and go for it if you need it. Also, for what it's worth, I should have said this earlier, but they did not give this to me. They did not talk to me at all about this. I just bought it because I wanted it. And then I was like, you know what? I have a YouTube channel. Let me talk about it on the YouTube channel. If you have any questions about the Drumline plugin, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll also have a link to it down in the description if you want to go check it out on their shop. If you're interested in booking a one-on-one coaching call with me to talk about plugins or music production or get help with your mix, that's a service that I offer, and I have that down in the description as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.